So one spray all the way across.
All right, what's up everyone? In today's video, we are going to be comparing side by side some of the top performing, most kind of well-known foam cannons out there on the market. In the past, I've actually tested these all individually, did full reviews of each one. But in today's video, I wanted to compare them side by side. I have them all sitting here, so let's take a look at them. So first up, we have the Adams Premium Foam Cannon. This guy retails for $69.99. Next up, we have the Maxshine foam cannon. This one is $65.99. We then move on to the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro V2. This guy ranges in price. Just a little backstory really quickly. When they first started selling these on Amazon, they would actually ship from overseas. They originally had them on for $69.95, something like that. But you would have to wait 4 to 5 weeks to get them. They are available on Amazon now. However, they are $78. So when these were sold on Amazon, exclusively shipping from overseas, I actually imported a bunch of them. So I have these guys in stock and I'm still selling them at the $69 price point, $69.99 or $69.95, whatever it is, on my own personal website. I have it linked down in the description for you guys below. This is my personal favorite, so if you guys buy them from my site, I appreciate the support. But I'll have it linked to both my site and as well as the Amazon listing so you guys can have it. Next up is the Torx from Chemical Guys, Torx Big Mouth. This guy retails for $89.99. Moving right along, we go to the staple, the MTM. Now this guy retails for $89.99. It's a staple, like I said. If you look at any professional detailer, they're typically gonna have this in their arsenal, so we'll take a look at that. Moving right along, guys, the TriNova, available on Amazon. Now this is definitely the cheapest in the bunch, retailing for $34.97, I believe, on Amazon. I will have all of these listed down in the description for you guys, so whatever you're interested in, you can get. Now, one thing that people, when I reviewed this, it didn't get very good foam for me personally. People said I needed to add more soap. I tried that, still didn't get great soap. However, one of the things that people seem to love about this thing is TriNova is actually a US brand, made in the USA, and people love that, which I do too, I totally agree. However, I hate to burst everyone's bubble. I actually reached out to TriNova, and all of their chemicals, all that kind of stuff is produced right here in the USA. This foam cannon, unfortunately, is sourced from overseas, not made in the US, but their chemicals are. And the last one up here, guys, is the Griots Boss Foam Cannon. This guy retails for $99.99, so definitely the most expensive of all of the foam cannons. All right, so one benefit of all these premium styled foam cannons is that they have the wide base. Why is that important? It's important because as you're filling it up, as you're working with them, they don't fall over. It's very easy to just set them down. They're not gonna tumble around on you. Now, it's not 100% accurate because even though it has a nice wide base, the heads are a little bit different between them. So this one seems to wanna tip over a little bit more than, say, the MJJC is very stable. Maxshine wants to fall over a little bit. That was, let's see here. The Griots is very, very stable. The TriNova surprisingly is. The Torx is not, but the reason for that is typically they have a wide opening at the top as well, which is really nice because you're able to easily fill your soap. So I love that. The only one out of these that has a smaller size neck is the MTM. Right there, it's a typical really small style neck. And one negative is it's metal on plastic, which I personally don't like because you run the risk of stripping out the threads when you're running metal on plastic. It just can chew right through it. Now the TriNova also, it is a wide neck. It's not as wide as some of the others, but it is a wider neck than the MTM is for sure. And although it looks like it's brass on plastic, the inner lining of this thing is plastic. So it's plastic on plastic, which I really love. Now, just for fun, let's go ahead and look at the bases of these one by one. I have my measuring tape here, and just so we can get an idea of how wide it is at the base of each of these foam cannons, since that is a selling point for these. Looking at the Adams Premium #1, we're running about 4 1/4 inches. 35-ounce bottle. The Maxshine is exactly the same, 4 1/4, 35-ounce bottle. The MJJC is about 5. 5 inches across, and a 35 ounce bottle. Actually, let me just show you guys. So they all basically rate to 1,000 milliliters, which is the standard on all of these. However, certain ones show a different marking in a different spot. So the 1,000 milliliters on the MJJC comes to here, so you still have this portion. On the Adams comes to here, so you still have this portion. On the MTM, it's all the way at the top of the neck. So they are slightly different size bottles. So again, 35 ounces for those three. Moving on to the Torque Big Mouth from Chemical Guys. This guy is a 34 ounce bottle, and the base is narrower at about 3 3/4 inches. All right, moving on to the MTM. 4 3/4 inches, maybe slightly above. And again, they actually list this one as a 32 ounce bottle. The TriNova doesn't have the size listed, at least that I could see, and there's no markings as far as measurement go on the bottle, so I don't know for sure. The base of it is 4 3/4, but it definitely is quite a bit bigger than all the rest, so I'd probably put it at 45 ounces maybe. I mean, if that's 35, yeah, add another 10 ounces to that, so we'll just call it 45. And last but not least is the Griots Boss, and that one is 4 3/4 as well. And this is they list it as a 33.8 ounce bottle. So overall, guys, the largest base is going to be on the MJJC. However, I would say as far as stability goes, the MJJC, the Griots, and the TriNova surprisingly feel the most stable. Even though the MTM does have a nice wide base and a small neck, it is not as stable. The head unit of this is a little bit heavier. Okay guys, so now I'm gonna go ahead and throw a GoPro on my head, and I'm gonna open up each of these. We're gonna look at the interior components of these, see if there's any similarities, differences, what they're made out of, all that kind of good stuff. Let's jump into it. Okay guys, I'm all ready to go. I've got my GoPro on, looking like a real Munson. Couple tools that we will need to open these up. I've got a wrench. I've got a pair of vice grips, just in case there's another wrench. I have a small, little screwdriver and a hammer, just in case. So let's go ahead and start off, guys. We're gonna start off with number 1, the Adams Premium Foam Cannon. Now, really quickly, let's just go ahead and go over this guy, right? So this is an actual stainless steel head unit, and it has the full adjustment. This little adjustment right here allows you to change the pattern of your sprays from 0 degrees to like 40 degrees or something like that. And this one also allows you to change the angle of the spray pattern, which is really, really nice. When you're working on roofs and hoods and things like that, it's nice to have this sideways spray pattern. You won't lose as much material going over the top of the car. So this little feature is fantastic, that it can turn from horizontal to vertical. We're gonna go ahead and flip it back to vertical now. And there we go. So let's go ahead, and one other mechanism that's going to be the same across all of these. They're all going to have the 0 to 40-ish adjustment on the front. Not all of them will be able to turn from horizontal to vertical, but I'll let you know which ones do. And then we have the output adjustment on the top of it. You turn it to the left and turn it to the right to increase the amount of foam that you're getting. So let's go ahead and start off by opening this thing up. This one's a little bit different than some of the others, but basically you have this little pin here. So we're gonna get behind that little pin, lift it up, okay? Now that that's up, this whole head unit should slide right off. And there we are. So that's everything out of there. And here you can see the actual mechanism of this foam cannon. So right in here is gonna be where your foam generating filter is. Typically with foam cannons, there's 2 items that are going to create are going to be the factor that create the most foam. We're going to have the orifice inside. The smaller the orifice, it depends on the pressure washer that you're using, but typically when you're using an electric pressure washer, you want to switch out to a smaller orifice. It reduces the amount of water going through, allows you to get more soap in your mixture and get more foam. So typically they come with a 1.25 millimeter orifice, and this one is no different. This one comes with a 1.25 installed. It's actually right back behind here. Let me just open that up so you guys can see exactly how that works. Let's see here, get this scrolled down. And I can't remember actually, since I've had all of these and tested all of them, I believe I replaced all of them with a 1.1, which I'll send you a link. I'll put a link down in the description below where you can get a 1.1 orifice. But there it is inside there. Let me go to this camera. So there you go. There is the orifice right inside there. You see a little slot on it. You can just use a flathead screwdriver to back that out. Really nice, really simple. But basically, that's one of the biggest factors when you're using an electric pressure washer. You want to have a smaller orifice in there so that you get more foam. This one does not come with it. You would have to buy that separately. This one only comes with a 1.25 millimeter orifice. All right, so let's go ahead and keep on moving on with this thing. Typically, yeah, here we go. Whoop, popped it right out. So this one just seats in just like so. I was gonna say there's usually a pin that holds stuff together here, and this one is actually built pretty well where the head unit slides over the top, and then it's the pin that holds that whole head unit on that slides through these and keeps everything in place. So really nice, but you back that off, and right at the front of the head unit here is where your foam filter sits. So this is the foam filter that it comes with. Let's see if we can get a measurement on this guy. 1, 2, 3/8, 3/8 high, it looks like. Don't roast me in the comments down below if my measurement's wrong, but around 3/8. So very standard. This is typically what you're gonna find in most foam cannons. Let me go ahead and show the other camera here. So that is the typical foam cannon filter. Okay. Now, one more thing, guys. They advertise this thing to be a stainless steel build quality, right? Which, yeah, this part's stainless steel, but once you open it up, we're brass, not stainless steel. So yeah, it's nice. This little portion that is visible is stainless steel, but the rest of it is not. It's brass, so that's kind of misleading. I don't really like that. That's something that I had never noticed before. But yeah, that's kind of lame that they advertise it as stainless steel, but you have a bunch of brass in here. So let's go ahead and put this back together. The foam cannon filter just goes back in there. This slides right over the top. Boom. We'll line it up. Then we will get this guy lined back up. And then you got to get it to seat over this little O-ring here. There we go. Holds in place. And then just try and line up the pin, the holes for the pin. And there we go. So that is it, guys. Number one is down, the Adams Premium Foam Cannon. Once again, they advertise this thing as stainless steel. We opened it up. It's stainless steel here, but the part that's in here is brass. All right, so next up, we're going to be looking at the Maxshine. Once again, guys, the Maxshine comes with a 1.25 orifice. Again, sits right back behind this little quick connect here, so nothing really to look at there. Does this one turn 3 to 60 degrees? Wow, I don't think I ever knew that. Maybe I did, I don't remember. But yes, it does, 365-degree turn. And then you have your basic adjustments. All right, so let's go ahead and open this one up. This one is basically the same type of construction. So let's go ahead and pop open. It has the same kind of pin. That is out. Let's go ahead and slide off that whole head unit. This part separated for some reason. I don't think it should have, but I don't think it's a big deal. But that just pops right back on here. There we go. So just like on the Adams, this part should slide off. There we go. And there's the foam cannon filter. So exact same thing again. Again, guys, this is from the Maxshine. Same exact foam filter, same size. So pretty much it there. Now, the only difference is here, guys, is the Adams advertises stainless steel, whereas the Maxshine does not advertise it. The Maxshine is $4 cheaper. And as you can tell, that the interior components of this thing are the same. They're brass. So I don't see any problem with brass. Someone actually commented in one of my videos because stainless steel has the appearance of being better, but and it's usually quite a bit more expensive. And someone commented in my videos that you know, the Navy has been using brass for years. They're on ships out in the ocean, and if it's good enough for the Navy, it's good enough for him, and I follow that. I agree with that 100%. So I don't see any problem with brass on these things whatsoever. So I'm gonna go ahead and push this one back on, put this guy back together, and we'll move on to the next one. All right, next up is the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro. Again, I have these unlabeled. They don't have the MJJC on them, but they are exactly this on my own website, listed down below. You can also join our mailing list, send you some cool updated stuff. I don't spam that thing at all. I barely send any emails, but whenever something cool comes up, I will send it out. So let's go ahead and take a look at this MJJC Foam Cannon Pro. Now this thing comes with a 1.25 millimeter orifice installed, and then it also comes with an additional 1.1. So you do have to swap it out, but it does come with it, which is awesome. A little bit different here, guys. As you can see with most of these other ones, the 1/4-inch quick connect screws right into the unit. As far as the MJJC goes, they actually make these for tons of different brands. So they make a bunch of different attachments. So they actually do it really simple where you can just back this off. It comes with the quick connect, but very, very easy there. And then the 1.1 orifice is installed in this one already. Very, very easy to work with, which is another reason why I love this thing so much. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the interior components of this. So we have our nozzle where you can change from 0 to 40 degrees or about that. Also, this thing does turn from horizontal and vertical. So another benefit there. So this one's right on par with the prices of those. Does have all the same features. However, I will say that this one gets a ton more foam. Again, this one is brass, so we're not creating any sort of false intent with that stainless steel construction. Let's go ahead and pop this one out. So this one's a little bit different, guys. Instead of having that little U pin, this one just has a hole with a pin that goes across it. And then, so you just get a little thing here, a little screwdriver here, knock that pin through. Okay, and then slide it out. That will open up the whole head unit. Okay, so quite a bit different here, guys. This portion is slightly different. There's no piece that pulls off here. The filters are actually inside here. So how I like to get this out is I like to open up the angle here, nice and wide. Then I'll take my screwdriver, nice small screwdriver, and push those out. And they're coming, it's just a little bit tight. I actually need a little bit longer of a screwdriver to do this. So let me push that down to the hole and push out the filter. So there you go, guys. So this is where the difference comes in, I guess. These are a little bit crushed up because I've removed this before. But these are actually available on my site as well. And this comes with a filter that is quite a bit different than the other. So it's much smaller. Let's try and get a measurement of this. Measurement here. Is about 1/4 inch. You actually get 2 of those, and then you get a foam filter that goes in between those, sandwiched in between. So just like, basically like so. Again, these ones are all beat up because I've pulled them out, but I haven't had any detriment to the performance of this foam cannon, which is another, just shows how great this thing is. So now to get these back in, it's a little bit of a pain. You have to drop them in and try and line them up and all that kind of good stuff. But you can do it. Alrighty, guys, so I've got that sat back in there. I'm gonna go ahead and push this back over this O-ring here. Good to go. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and try and line up the hole all the way through. Let's see here, I'm just trying to line it up. There we are. And then we'll just push the pin right back in. And sometimes, yeah, this one slides right back in. It's good to go. It's sticking out a little bit, so I'm just gonna grab my screwdriver, line it up and give it a little tap just to seat it in there a little bit further. All right, we're good to go. So there you go, guys. One thing that is different on the MJJC is that foam filter. Moving right along, we will go to the Chemical Guys Torx Big Mouth. This one comes with a 1.25 millimeter orifice installed in the back. So again, to get the most amount of foam, you're going to want to switch out to a 1.1. But let's go ahead and try and get this guy opened up. Now this one's going to use a pin, the little U pin, similar to the Maxshine and the Atoms. This may be an easier way to do it. As opposed to trying to pull up on that, you can see the little holes or the little pins at the bottom here. So I'm going to try and line that up instead. I'm going to go ahead and take the bottle off. And just line that up and try and knock it out that way. There we go. There we go. Now the pin is up and we can go ahead and pull that out. Slide off this whole head. Okay, and just like the others, this is basically the exact same construction as the Maxshine and the Atoms. Again, the only one different so far is that MJJC. This piece should slide off. Yep, and same filter as always as the Maxshine and the Atoms so far. You can see it here. Same filter, guys. And another thing I did not touch on is the straws inside. This one is a nice thick straw, but it's just kind of a stiff, you can see it just kind of hanging there. The Maxshine is much better, and it's nice and thick as well, but it's you can feel it's kind of a silicon-based straw, and it is very, very flexible and hangs down nice and straight. The Atoms, exact same type of straw as the Maxshine. The MJJC has a thinner straw with a weighted bearing filter at the bottom. So this allows you to, no matter which way you're shooting the foam cannon, this thing stays down in the solution. So that's the best design I have seen. One other point, guys, is the bottle is plastic on plastic. Now there's threads on this inside here as well. The new ones do not ship like that anymore. So disregard anything about these inner threads on the MJJC. It no longer comes with that. The reason for those threads is so you can screw on like a little 16-ounce bottle of soap or whatever else. I never do that. I thought it was kind of unnecessary anyways. We'll talk about that down the line because the boss from Griots is the one that kind of designed that whole thing. But let's keep moving on here, guys. Back to the chemical guys. Torx Big Mouth, I believe it's called. Just gonna go ahead and reassemble this. Push that back on. Push the head back on. Now this one does have a little indentation, so you wanna make sure that that lines up with the indentation right here. Again, with this one, it is an all brass construction, which again, I have no issues with at all. All right, pin is back in, and we are good to go. Now, one other thing to mention about this Chemical Guys unit. If you talk to a lot of plastic manufacturers, this bottle, I would say, looks the best out of all of them, right? Nice crystal clear, it looks super cool. These crystal clear ones, though, tend to break faster than the natural kind of opaque ones. Is that the right word, opaque? Anyway, where you can't see completely through it like glass. So, now, I haven't used this thing that much, so I don't know how well it lasts. But for the price point, again, I think it looks better than all the others. I just don't know about the longevity of it. Okay, keep moving on. We're going to the MTM. This guy comes with a 1.25 millimeter installed. It also comes with the 1.1 millimeter orifice additionally as well, so you can install that yourself. Again, this one drawback is that it does have the small neck. However, it does have that silicone style, not quite as silicone-y as the other two, but a nice straight, laying straw to pick up your solution. Now, a lot of people think, wow, this thing's the best. It has stainless steel construction and all that kind of good stuff. This is not stainless steel. This is actually nickel-plated brass. So for what it is, just so you guys know. Now, in order to remove this one, the pin is actually right back here, way at the back of it. Let's go ahead and open that up. Now again, guys, I did review these all in totally in depth. So I'll have the video, if you want, I'll have videos linked down in the description for you guys, so you guys can go back and look at the entire video where I kind of break them down one by one. Let's go ahead and get this pin out. And that pin fits way tighter than all of the others. So guys, also this one here is your stainless steel connection point. Let's go ahead and pull off this head unit. And again, as you can see here, it's nickel plated. So nickel plated where it's visible, and then in here it's brass. Here it's nickel plated again, but it's still brass all the way throughout. Interesting, I don't know what that does. So this little ball here pushes in. If you guys know what that does, comment down in the description below. So in order to get the foam piece out of it, the foam generating filter, it's in here. Let me see if I can just knock it out. No, and so I may need to, let's see here. So here's the rubber O-ring I was talking about. Here is the foam filter. Basically looks exactly the same as the one that came in the Chemical Guys. Did I look at that one? Yeah, I did. Chemical Guys, Maxshine, Adams, same filter. But basically how you put this back together is this plastic piece. It actually slides right into here. You can see that sits nicely. There's a little gap there for the O-ring. And then this piece will fall right back into the very front. It's gonna have to push it around a little bit and push it back into that hole. And it's a little tricky to line up, just kind of like the MJJC is. But there we go. And now I can take this again. I like to sit it up like this so that this piece isn't moving around, so I know where it is. Slide that back over, seat it over that other O-ring, and then I just have to line up this hole. Looking through it, I can see where there is visibility all the way through. I'm gonna take the pin, push it back in. And again, guys, this one seats in there really, really tight. So there we go. Release that, and then I'm gonna use a hammer to hammer that piece down. And we're good to go. So there's the MTM. Definitely a different construction on the head unit compared to the Chemical Guys, Maxshine, and Adams. Those were all basically the same. The MTM is different, the MJJC is different. All right, we have 2 more to go. Let's go ahead and open up the TriNova. Now, talking about the TriNova, this guy here, I don't know what size orifice it comes with. It does not state it. From what I've seen on the website, it looks like it kind of fluctuates between a 1.25 to a 1.4 millimeter orifice. I've never been able to get an answer, so I don't know. The straw is okay. It has a bend to it, so it's not ideal. And the orifice does sit right behind this piece right here. But let's go ahead and work on getting this opened up. Now this one is different. It is not a pin system that goes through. It's actually a little screw. So let's grab our little screwdriver. I don't know if this is the right size or not. Nope, it's too small. Let me go ahead and grab a different screwdriver. Okay, so here is the screwdriver we need. It's a Phillips head, just a little bit bigger than the one I had. Just go ahead and back this little screw out. Okay, then this whole piece should slide out. Yep. And it looks basically the same as the And this looks basically the same as all the other, the Chemical Guys, the Maxshine, and the Adams. However, this part doesn't just slide off. You actually have to get a pair of, a little wrench on it and twist it off. All right, guys, so I actually cannot get this opened up. As you can see, it's starting to strip as I'm trying to torque on that. I have it tightened down, like, I mean, I don't know. And this little head unit is cracked also. I don't know if it was always been like that or what. Anyways, that shouldn't affect the amount of foam. That just changes the angle of the pattern, so not a problem there. I think I don't remember if I mentioned back to the MTM really quickly, it does have the full 360-degree change from horizontal to vertical as well. So that's actually going to be the only other one that has that. So out of all of these, we have the Adams Premium, the Maxshine, the MJJC, and the MTM have the vertical and horizontal capability of how to spray. So unfortunately for the TriNova, I can't get to the filter. I'm going to assume for sure that it just has the same basic filter as the Atoms and the Maxshine and the chemical guys, and same one as the MTM as well. But again, I can't get to it, so we can't check that for sure, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's just stripping on me, so I can't do anything about it. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on. This is pretty cheap, cheesy feeling to me. It just slides over that little piece, and then the screw is just gonna fit in here so that it doesn't slide off. It's not the best design for sure. I actually really don't like that. There we go. Let's go ahead and put the screw back in. Now, one other thing about the TriNova that I remember when I reviewed it is people also said the reason I wasn't getting enough foam was because I tightened it down all the way to the right, which is how you do it with all the other ones. And they were saying on this one, you actually have to tighten it down all the way to the left, which doesn't make sense. I remember testing that as well, but basically when it comes up, you're getting less foam. So again, we'll look at that really quickly when I actually do the test with these, but it's, you know. All right, last but not least, we're gonna look at the Griots Boss. One thing to mention about this foam cannon is this one, it is the only other one with the thin silicon-based straw that stays in the solution no matter what, because you have a weighted ball system. The Boss system is a little, they actually have these little filters that go into this little hole, and you can actually plug it straight into pure soap and it filters it for you, supposedly. So actually, I tested it, it did work. It worked really well, actually. Again, I don't see the benefit of it. They do have the threads here, so you can put a small, just 16-ounce bottle of soap, and then it'll filter it for you. I just personally like to, you know, mix it really quickly and get back to work. I don't see any problem of mixing in your water. And the fact that this thing is $100 and it's more expensive than any of the others, it seems to be that function may be a factor in that, and I don't see the reasoning for it. So this one, however, does seem to be actual stainless steel. Will it be behind here? I don't know. But one thing to note, guys, is it's stainless steel, and this is the only one that has a little bit of rust on it. So I don't know, just something to consider there. So let me go ahead and, again, this one has the pin system, so let me go ahead and try and line that up and remove the pin. Nice. And guys, just so you know, this is actually how you service your foam cannons as well. You're able to remove that. The reason most foam cannons stop getting foam is because the foam filter inside gets all clogged up. So you're able to open these up, remove the filter, and put a new one in. The only one you can't do that with apparently is the TriNova. Let's see here. Does this one screw off? It does. So this is the only one out of all of these guys that actually has stainless steel components all the way through. So good job, Griots, on that. That's quality. I'm sorry, it is quality. However, is it necessary? I don't know. I personally don't think so, because the brass doesn't have any issues and the Navy uses brass, so what are you gonna do? But since they're advertising stainless steel, good on them for actually giving you stainless steel all the way through. So to get to the filter, this one it is screwed on, so you have to back this part off. So I'm assuming that's actually, yeah, look at that. See all this stuff that gets built up in here? Oh no. You know what that is it's like Loctite. Yeah, so when I originally did this, it was really hard to get open, so they obviously locked it up. That's probably what the TriNova did as well. I wasn't able to break that seal. So here is the filter for the Griots. And once again, same exact kind of filter, guys. As you can see here, same filter. This is the Griots Boss. Same filter. The only one that had a different filter is the MJJC. Let's see here. What else was I going to say about this? Oh, that's what I was going to say is stainless steel, and again, more rust here. So we have rust on the neck of it here and also on this interior component. So I don't know. I don't know if that actually means anything or not, but the brass ones don't have it, or maybe they do, you just can't see it because that matches the brass color pretty well. So, but anyways, put the filter back in, screw this guy back on, And once again, guys, this Griots actually comes with a 1.25 millimeter orifice installed, and then it also comes with a 1.1 so that you have it. So we're gonna go ahead and start testing these guys out again. All right, guys, so I apologize. It's actually starting to get dark outside on me, but I've got my van here. I'm just gonna spray it across the windshield of it so you guys can get a good contrast. I know it's a white van, so it's not the best, but across the windshield, you'll be able to tell a good contrast. So I have filled up all of the foam cannons using the exact same mixture. We're actually using Chemical Guys Honeydew Snow Foam for all of them. I did 2 ounces in every bottle except, because they're all just about the same, between 32 and 35 ounces. The only one that I gave more to, I actually gave a full 5 ounces to the TriNova, because when I originally did that one, everyone complained that I just didn't put enough in because the canister is bigger. So I did a full 5 ounces in that one, more than double what the others get. It is cheaper, so I don't know. Anyways, I will be doing the foam cannon test, and I have a GoPro mounted onto my pressure washer, so hopefully that gives us a good idea as well. I'll start off with each one, spraying to the side, getting my angle and everything set, and then we'll be testing on the car. All of these foam cannons have a 1.1 millimeter orifice installed in them because I am using a Ryobi 1600 PSI 1.2 GPM electric pressure washer. So to be fair, guys, even though this modifies it a little bit, because the ones that only come with a 1.25, you will have to buy a 1.1 to get this result. But it's only fair because now all of them have a 1.1, so I want to do it that way. I still don't think those are going to perform as well as some of the other ones. If I remember well, the best performers are the MJJC and the MTM. They get the most foam. Let's go ahead and test them out. Okay, guys, so keeping with the same order, we're going to start off with the Adams Premium Foam Cannon right here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to adjust my pattern. That's where I like it. Everything's tightened down. And here we go. Adams Premium. So one spray all the way across. Let me see if I can adjust this. So it looks good, but it is runny. You can see all the water bubbles in it. It is definitely runny. The very end of it, when I was letting off the trigger, became a little bit better, for sure, but still a lot of moisture in that as well. So let me go ahead and rinse that one off, and we'll move to the next one. Okay, guys, so that one actually had a little bit of a benefit going onto a dry panel. The rest of them are going onto a wet panel. So next one up is the Maxshine. All right, again, gonna adjust the foam spray. All right, all set, and here we go. So just about the same performance as the Adams. Actually, this one looks to be a little bit runnier than the Adams was, but good coverage, very good coverage, just not super thick. Okay, next up, MJJC. We've got my spray pattern all set up. Here we go, MJJC. And as you guys can tell, just an absolute crazy amount of thickness. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, that wasn't quite as wide of a fan as the other ones, so we'll adjust that. There we go, that's a wider fan. Do that. And as you can see on this bottom portion where I just sprayed it, still super, super thick. Okay, next up is the Chemical Guys Toric Big Mouth. Here we go. And here we go. So there you are, same performance as the Maxshine and the Adams. Good coverage, but pretty runny. Next up, MTM. Clicked in. Okay, we're all set. Here we go. Definitely a lot thicker than the others. Very, very close to the MJJC, but again, Not quite as good as the MJJC. Let me go ahead and widen this up again to be fair. All right, that's as wide as I can get it. But yeah, right on par with the MJJC, guys. Next up, TriNova. Again, we have 5 ounces of soap in this one. Here we go. Tighten it down. And here we go. All right, guys, so here we are. Very, very, very similar to the Maxshine and the Chemical Guys and the Atoms. So actually performing a lot better than I ever had it perform in the past. So I guess there you go. Just make sure you use a ton and ton of soap. Let me try and go the other way just to be sure. Yeah, and I remember that about it before. Tightening it down to the left or the right didn't really make much of a difference for me. But doing a much better job than previous, just definitely not as good as the MJJC or the MTM. But if you guys are looking at a foam cannon, again, you do have to switch out to the 1.1 millimeter orifice with this TriNova, but it's doing a much better job. But again, for all of you that buy this just because it's made in the US, it's not. Okay, now, last but not least, the Griots Boss Foam Cannon. Okay, ready to go, here we are. All right, guys, great amount of foam. Really, really great amount of foam. I would say it's a 3rd place as far as foam production goes. Very, very close to the MTM. The MJJC, I think, just makes it does a little bit better of a job. But fantastic amount of foam from the Griots Boss Foam Cannon. All right, guys, so there you have it. There's looking at all of those foam cannons. Now, again, construction-wise, most of them are pretty identical. The Boss, actually, even though the internals look to be the same as the others, it performed better than most. The next best would be the MTM, in my personal opinion. Again, that has a different type of structure to it. And then the top performer for me was the MJJC. That one had a different construction to it, and then it also had different filters. Again, you can buy the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro unlabeled on my site, linked in the description below. All the other ones I'll have linked in the description for you guys as well if you want to go with one of those. If you want the filter from the MJJC, you can get it on the side as well. That's it. I hope it helps you guys. Really cool to test these side by side. So, but yeah, the MJJC for me personally is still the best. The MTM is right there though. Fantastic machine. The head unit composition of the head unit and all the components of it, just the way it clicks, it seems to be probably the best built. Hard to tell. I've been using the MJJC for a long time. I haven't had any issues with it. But just the way that the clicks and everything that the MTM makes is really, really good. Also, the Griots Boss is fantastic. It's just at a $100 price point. It's $10 more than the MTM, $30 more if you buy it on my site than the MJJC. So again, price to performance. Best performance, the MJJC. Best price, the MJJC, other than, let's see, the Maxshine and the TriNova were cheaper, but didn't get the performance. So that's it. Please make sure to like the video. It really helps me out. Make sure you're subscribed and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. That's it. We'll see you on the next one.